Welcome to the Salty Truth Podcast. I'm Lindsay K. Foreign, your luxury-loving, deal-closing, reinvention queen who has literally built a career off of saying the things that only other people think. Each week, I get real about ambition, relationships, money, motherhood, and what it truly means to be a powerhouse woman balancing big dreams and real life. I get the opportunity to sit down with individuals that are truly making transformations and redefining success, raising the bar and refusing to play small. So let's get cozy, grab yourself a glass of wine, martini, whatever that fabulous drink might be, hit subscribe, and baby, let's get salty. Hey Salties, welcome back to another episode on our new titled podcast, Salty Truth. If you listen to the podcast or the episode, just prior to this episode dropping, you would have heard that I am actually renaming and rebranding the podcast for the first of the year. I decided to do a little bit of a solo episode today for a couple reasons. One, we're going to be introducing the Salty Truth segment episode. This is where we drop everything salty and all the salty submissions that have come in that I'm going to be reading to you. It's going to be fun. It's going to get a little bit wild. And then the other reason for this solo episode is to talk to you all a little bit about the rebranding, what I'm doing, what kind of changes have come that are super exciting. And I know that we posted a lot about going to Vegas and opportunities that we had there. So we're going to expose just kind of what that was and how exciting that whole trip went. Hence why I decided to change the name of the podcast. Backing up, Salty City Group went on a trip to Las Vegas to go on Brad Lee's Dropping Bombs podcast. Huge opportunity, absolutely amazing for so many reasons. The whole entire trip with my team was unbelievable. The timing, I'm not gonna lie, ended up being a little bit crazy because it was kind of hard to leave and go on a trip. My cute grandmother actually passed away unexpected days before I was leaving on this trip with my team. While I was dealing with all of the emotions of that, I knew I had to get out to Las Vegas, be with my team, and execute on everything that I had set up. So it was kind of a wild last 3-4 weeks. In fact, not only did my grandmother pass away, my grandfather passed away 3 weeks before she passed away. So it was kind of crazy. My grandmother does not live in Utah. She actually lived in Washington, and she was coming in town to go to my grandfather's funeral. My grandfather was 101, just about to turn 100. Well, he was 100, just about to turn 101. And my grandmother was 90, but fully independent, living at home. Nothing that crazy that would indicate that she would pass away that quickly. So she was actually coming in town to go to his funeral. The day of his funeral, got hospitalized and then passed away. So really unexpected. It's kind of been an emotional whirlwind these last 4 weeks in gathering of all that. Stayed home for a couple days and then got in work mode and went with my team to Vegas. We went to Vegas, like I said, to go on Bradley's Dropping Bombs podcast as a guest. It was so amazing. So much value that I learned, so many things that came up, and inspiration for really what I'm working towards and where I want my podcast to go. From the moment walking in and working with his team, even weeks before getting there, just on the ball, sending over emails, being very informative, asking great questions. When we got there, very polite, had my name up as a guest. His whole team just really executed really well in taking care of you, meeting your needs, and also explaining, what to expect. And then Brad came in and met with me and my team. We talked through my whole business, what I'm doing, what I am hoping to get out of it. He actually pulled up my whole entire social media. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like, oh shit, what is he gonna see? But he like pulled up my whole entire like social media and just started watching all the videos. I mean, it was kind of like, oh my God, but at the same time, like so amazing. Just to get his feedback, he had this whole booklet for me to take on building my personal brand and my business. Really a wholesome person that poured into why I was there and giving honest feedback into helping me be successful. And then on top of that, the whole entire like studio experience, what he has built, was just 100% motivating for me, because that is really what I'm working towards. I want to have a very well-equipped, full running business, studio, bigger team, all that good stuff. And so not only was it so great to have the opportunity to be there, but it also poured into my cup as to what I am working towards, what I want to achieve. And I don't know, I'm just super stoked about it. So that whole experience was just pretty much badass. I was on such a freaking high that evening we had plans to like go to a show and dinner and all these things. I literally got back to my hotel room, ate some food, and crashed out. Like I slept for like 12 hours because it was just such a awesome experience. And I think the hype up and the anxiousness and being a guest on a podcast, especially a podcast that is that large and popular. I think it's one of the 10 top business podcasts in the United States or world, I want to say. It was really a big high, but I passed out. I had to go to sleep. I had no more energy in me. And especially like the night before, my team and I, like we had plans to just like go to dinner, relax, go to bed, go to the spa the next day. But that didn't happen. We ended up having a little bit of fun, and that's okay. We had a great time. It was a great opportunity. So we actually went to dinner. We went to dinner at Beauty in Essex in the Cosmopolitan. Unbelievable place. Like the aesthetic, the mood, the food, the drinks, everything, hands down, the best. We had such a great time. We ended up needing to get some content, and the restaurant was like at the end of the night about to close, and we were trying to get some content and pictures because the vibe there is so unbelievable. And I think it was like the waitresses and the bartenders were so accommodating, and they literally like brought over candles and made me a drink and specific drinks for the content that I was getting done, and the pictures that we were taking. So not only was the experience of the food, how beautiful it was, absolutely amazing, but they really showed up to take care of us in a different way. So I would highly recommend it. But while we were doing that, my team and I got an invitation to a VIP table at Omnia. So we had to take it, right? It's the F1 was going on. Omnia is amazing. The DJ was just unbelievable. So we ended up doing that. When I say like we had such an amazing time, we had such an amazing time. The music was insane. The vibe was insane. We were getting like large bottles of champagne, Dom Perignon, like green label Dom Perignon, like coming down from the ceilings, and just the vibe was unbelievable. And it was just like so exciting because not only like, are you in Vegas or whatever, we were going there to be on the podcast, but to have my team with me, to be building that excitement and where things are going naturally was just unbelievable. Anyway, we had a blast. We did the podcast, we came home, and so many things and ideas have come from that trip and being all together for those days, and the education that we received and the inspiration that we received. Like everything is moving full force. In that is where we decided the name of the podcast was going to change. As I've done in my podcast, in my episodes, we have a salty segment. Some of the feedback that we got when we went on Dropping Bombs was that Salty City, like you look at that and you say, well, what is that exactly? Or if you're browsing for a new podcast, like, is Salty City going to capture attention? And is that really what the podcast is about? But in talking through it, in lieu of having the salty truth segment or the salty truth of the actual episode, it makes sense for this podcast, for our podcast, to be called the salty truth. because that's really what we're laying down here, is the salty truth in so many aspects. And then we decided to bring forth the salty truth segment, which will be an episode that drops once a month, and it's individuals actually sending me their salty truth. So I've received some DMs that have actually kind of birthed this idea, because people are sending me information or salty truths or things that happened to them. So that's really like created this idea. And this is where we're going to be doing the salty truth segment. I need and want more direct messages about your salty truth. You can do it anonymously. You do not have to put your name or any information. We are getting a link set up so you can send these in directly. I won't share who they're coming from unless you want me to, but it's just a fun piece, because that is what this podcast is about, is the salty truth, the reality, the real talk, no apologies, boss babe shit that we're out doing, and I want to hear from you. Hey, I'm going to pause here for a moment. This episode is brought to you by myself, Lindsay Kaufman-Foreign with Coldwell Banker. I am your connection to Utah's luxury lifestyle. Whether you are looking for a modern architectural masterpiece in Salt Lake City, or those sweeping valley views in Park City, a mountain retreat, maybe you want to ski in and ski out, I have helped plenty of clients find homes that feel like a reflection of their ambition and taste. From skyline penthouses and foothill estates to ski in, ski out, my focus is high-end service, refined design, and a personalized experience to make every transaction feel effortless. Because in Utah, luxury isn't about flash, it's about freedom, space, quality, and that lifestyle that comes with it. Are you ready to buy, sell, or invest in the Wasatch most exclusive properties? Connect with me, DM me, or you can email me, and that link will be here. Thanks so much. That is where we're starting today. Now that we are all caught up, let's get into the salty segment, because I cannot wait to get into this and read some of these salty truths that have come in. All right, let's get started. So one of the first ones to come in is, I was doing a kid swap at the Smiths in Draper when my ex pulled up with his new girlfriend wearing my old Lululemon jacket. I didn't say anything, but I did Venmo request him $118 for the property replacement. He declined it, so I sent it again. What? Okay, I would do the same thing. First of all, that jacket's probably a hell of a lot more than $118. And why would he give his girlfriend the Lululemon jacket? Or better yet, let's back up. Being the girlfriend, wouldn't you wonder why the hell you have a female's Lululemon jacket in the house? Like, I would not wear it. I would feel so weird. That's crazy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, would you wear it? Because I sure as hell wouldn't. And I would really question the person that I'm dating that's giving me a jacket that could possibly be his ex-wife's or another female's. That's just weird. Anyway, moving on. I left my house in biker shorts and an oversized tee, and swear 3 stroller moms looked at me like I was a stray dog. 2 nights later, I saw one of their husbands on Hinge. Oh, snap. That is crazy. Okay, so is it because, like, in Utah, you're expected to, like, just be, like, full glammed out all the time or something? Like, I don't understand this. Why is it such a big deal if you're not perfectly ready 100% in the state of Utah? And if anyone feels this way, like, let me know, because I feel like everybody is ready for fucking everything here. Like they're so worried about who you're going to run into or who you're going to see. Why not just be able to leave your house in whatever the hell you want, even if you're, not ready, you're running errands or whatever? Like, you don't have to have a full face of makeup, hair done, and just full glam. I guess I just laugh, like, the stroller moms. I don't know, there's like this thing where groups of individuals just walk around and talk shit all the time. Like, if you know, you know. Turning that into, you want to judge me, but yet I just saw your husband on fucking Hinge. Like, come on. Never talk shit, because you don't know what's going on. All right, next up. My daughter got invited to a birthday party in Alpine. I showed up with a gift. Turns out it was a baptism. I was the only one in jeans. I left after the Jell-O salad. Okay, so hold on. She thought it was a birthday party. Oh my goodness. So Alpine is definitely in like what we call God's country. And so I'm guessing, yeah, this person had no idea that this was a baptism. In a baptism in the Mormon church in Utah, ideally, like, you're getting dressed up. It's a pretty big party. And to show up in jeans would definitely be not a great thing. And I love how she says, I left after the Jell-O salad. Okay, this is another thing about Utah that some of you may not know. Jell-O is like the freaking staple of the state. And I think it's like green Jell-O or Jell-O salad that has a bunch of different little things in it and marshmallows and whatever. Some people like it. I'm not much of a Jell-O fan, but it is a huge staple for Utah. Okay, next one. And I think a lot of these that are coming through are obviously for Utah, since that's a lot of who's been watching my show, but you don't have to be in Utah to send in. So just an FYI. Okay, the next one. I volunteered for a PTA once in South Jordan. Never again. It was more political power than the state legislator. That would be hard. I don't know. I actually put my kids in private school in Utah because I feel like there's just not much diversity. And if you're not in that group in Utah, it's a little bit weird or different, just from my personal experience with my children that are older. I felt like there wasn't much of a social network or group, and I ended up going to private school because I felt like we had more of a community feel not being a part of the church in Utah, if that makes sense. So I can definitely relate to that. I don't know that I've ever been to a PTA meeting outside of like private school, but I would imagine that it's probably not the most inviting if you're not in that club. Next one up. A mom at school pickup said, must be nice to drive a Range Rover. Meanwhile, she's holding a $12 dirty Diet Coke and wearing a $180 Lululemon hoodie. But why, like, I don't know. Why do people think that they can make comments like that? Like, why do you? I don't get it. Even if you aren't wearing an expensive hoodie or clothing or whatever, like, why are people feeling like they can make comments and be just straight up assholes? Like, I don't get it. If you want to drive a fucking Range Rover, then go drive a goddamn Range Rover. You can get one. And if that's a goal of yours or you want to make more money, go do it. Like, stop dissing on other people. Drives me crazy. All right, next one. I walked into a bar downtown and saw the bishop's daughter doing karaoke to Cardi B. We made eye contact, nodded, and mutually agreed that this whole thing never happened. That's kind of funny. Okay, so I think, so if those of you that don't know, so in the Mormon culture, you don't drink alcohol. I mean, I'm sure you could go to a bar, but I don't know why you would. You don't partake in like alcohol, drugs. You're not supposed to drink caffeine. Like, they don't drink coffee, but it's like a secret of doing these things. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard the term, you take one Mormon golfing, they'll drink all your beer. Take two Mormons golfing, they'll drink no beer. Because if they're around each other, then it's like a shared agreement that you don't do it. So anyway, just kind of funny. So that's the background, I think, of that one. Oh, last one. My divorce was finalized on Tuesday. By Friday, my ex was on a date at Rodizio with a girl from his office. Utah men don't grieve, they recruit. Well, we are said to have the best salespeople. in the United States. So they must be recruiting pretty hard. From my understanding, they're taught how to do sales very, very young here. All right, that's funny. Okay, so wrap up of the salty truth. So those were just some of the submissions that we had gotten in, some of them more specific to Salt Lake City. But I would love to hear some of your salty truths. What this podcast is about is the real talk, the no bullshit. You know, what is making your life? Share it with us. I want to hear it. The boss quotes. I don't know if you all listened to my episode, prior. I think it was like episode 1 or 2. If not, go listen to it. It's funny. We also talk about like the boss quotes and things that women deal with in corporate and all the bullshit that comes with it. But those are the things I want to hear about. Those are the things that make me laugh. And those are the things that, like, I guess we kind of get to expose, right? Because again, it's the real talk. Like, what's going on that people are not sharing or that people are too scared to say? That's what we're here for, baby. We'll put it out there. This is salty, letting it go and having fun with it because it's real life, real goals, real talk, and that's what we're here for. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you on my next episode. As always, reach out to me, subscribe, follow, rate the podcast. I want to hear from you. I need you. You are my audience, and I would love to know what you think of the name change. So from Salty City Podcast to the Salty Truth Podcast. I hope you all have a good day, and I will see you next time.